Okay, for those of you that weren't here yesterday for math, I wanted to talk about rounding. So we learned how to round using the story of Cinderella. We all know that Cinderella had two stepsisters and a stepmother who really did not like her very much for some reason. We all know that there was the prince who he needed to find a wife, so he was holding a big ball to find the wife. We know that Cinderella made a dress that she wanted to wear to the ball. We know that the stepsisters tore that dress up. We know that Cinderella ran to the garden and sat on a bench to cry. We know that the fairy godmother came along and changed her into a beautiful ball gown, and we know that she got to go to the ball. We also know that her friends were mice and other animals. So using all that information, we're going to round, okay? So first of all, I am going to write a number. Let's do 3,472,316. And let's say I want you to round to the 100,000s. All right, so what you're going to do, Cinderella sits on her bench. The 100,000s is where Cinderella is at. So I'm going to put a bench under Cinderella. Now, the fairy godmother always comes up right behind her and pats her on the back. And, are you okay? I'm so sorry, my love. So we're going to draw an arrow over to the fairy godmother. So our fairy godmother is the 7 in the 10,000s column. Now, let's take a look at fairy godmother's ability to change Cinderella. She has magic, and so she has to be able to have enough power to change Cinderella's dress into this beautiful ball gown. So the fairy godmother's power, if she has 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, those levels of power are not strong enough. No power. If she has levels 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, fairy godmother has enough power to change Cinderella's dress. So let's take a look. My fairy godmother has the power of 7, so she's like bibbidi bobbidi boo, and she changes Cinderella into that beautiful dress, so she goes up 1. Now, the fairy godmother used all her power so that she becomes a 0. Now, all the numbers behind the fairy godmother, these are the fairies in training, and they're just wee little fairies in training, so the powers that they have are just wee little powers. So when the fairy godmother, she goes bibbidi bobbidi boo, she also takes all her fairies in training's power. So all those fairies in training, they become 0s too. They lost all their power. Now you might ask, what am I going to do with this 3 right here? Let's fix this. Well, those are her mice friends. Her mice friends are in front of her. They're running. They're kind of looking up at her. They are going to go to the ball with her. So you're just going to bring her little mice friends down. So 3,472,316 rounded to the 100,000s rounds to 3,500,000. Okay, let's try another one. So we have 23,714, and we are going to round to the 10,000s place. All right, I'm going to put Cinderella's bench under the 10,000 spot. There is a 2 in the 10,000 spot, so Cinderella is a 2. She will either stay the same as a 2, or she'll get to change it to a 3. Fairy godmother stands behind her. The fairy godmother has a power of 3. Well, we know at 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, fairy godmother does not have enough power. We also know at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the fairy godmother has enough power. So if I come over here and look, the fairy godmother has the power of a 3. So it doesn't matter how many times she goes bibbidi bobbidi boo, and I keep picturing her. It's not working, so she looks at her wand and she does it again and again, and it still doesn't work. So Cinderella stays a 2. She didn't get to wear a fancy ball. Fairy godmother lost her power. All of the fairies in training lost all of their power. Now if I look here, I do not have any little mice friends with her. I guess they didn't make it to the garden yet. All right, let's do one more together. All right, let's say I have 124,671, and I want you to round to the thousands place. All right, Cinderella's bench at the thousand spot. So Cinderella's a 4. She'll either stay the 4 or she'll change into a 5. I look at the fairy godmother. Fairy godmother's a 6. That means she has enough power to change Cinderella. So bibbidi bobbidi boo, Cinderella becomes a 5. Fairy godmother and all her fairies in training turn into zeros. And I like to cross them out to just help me remember those are the ones that all become zeros. The 2 and the 1, those are her mice friends, and they are going to be in front of her, cheering her on as she goes to the ball. So 125,000 is what 124,671 rounds to the thousands place. Okay? And one more quick thing. Let's say that I give you 124,000 and I ask you what place was this round to. Well, I know that the fairy godmother and all the fairies in training turn to zeros. So I know that's the fairy godmother, and these are right here are all the fairies in training. So it rounded to this place because that's my first digit above 0. So I know that it was rounded to the thousands place. That's just a little tidbit because you will run into that. So if you have any questions, email me. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Worst case scenario, if we need to get online, we can do a Google Meet real quick and help you out. We miss you all, and we'll see you real soon.